Should we start?
Yeah, I don't think there's anybody else that I know is coming. So I wrote this session just to, we have this almost every UDS, just to talk about quickly what we're doing with that, where we're going. This cycle, so we didn't do much last cycle, we just kept, well actually, we ported projects to GTK3 and PyGI instead of the old GTK2 and G-object bindings. Just to kind of keep up with the platform. And we tried to do Python 3, but that was too hard at the time. And I'd like to look again at that this cycle, especially since Python 3 is a CD goal. So it seems silly to be generating Python projects in Python 2.
Yeah. But that's just, well, so I think like primarily what we need to do, and by we, I mean not me because I've been failing so dismally at this, is we need to like make what we have like work better. I don't think we're supporting it as well as we could. Maybe I'm mistaken, but I see a lot of bug reports and stuff. I can't imagine that.
That's true. That has mostly been a matter of priority.
Yeah. So I'm just saying, maybe we should consider that. Do that, like we're going to do another round of work, maybe, like I think, like make the tool work really well for the ARB, and then like fix the existing bugs. I think that would be like a really good achievement for the club.
Do you have any particular bugs in mind?
I just see them come in on my, I just see them come in. I don't have any particular bugs in mind.
One example that might be, Alison was talking about this the other day, is the installation to opt support from what we can tell is broken a little bit today. So,
okay.
You know, just as an example, just in terms of...
No offense, Mike. This isn't a reflection on you, it's a reflection on me. I've completely, like I don't even look at the bugs.
Just in terms of, obviously, if people are building new apps, they can obviously package it, but for opt, it's just going to smooth the light of the ARB.
Right. I thought...
Well, if it helps, I can show you, I have a wiki page here.
Mm-hmm.
These are all the changes we make before we ship an ARB app, when we get the ARB app quickly. We change pretty much every file in the packaging. Sometimes it's only one line change, but we have to do it for every single app that we get. And it's just little things. You know, like, so I think.
No, yeah, definitely. I mean, our goal with this was to make that zero, and I was under the impression that you didn't have such a list. So the fact that there is a list is a failure for me to ask for it, I guess.
This I just added a week ago.
Okay.
Because I was, again, sitting down with another quickly package, and I thought, you know, I'm doing this manually every time. Let me make a list. Right. And also because we've been trying to offload more work to the developers, so if I have a list, I can just send a developer to it.
I mean, so that list is using the existing Quickly support for extras, right? You're saying this is on top of the work that Quickly especially does just for you guys, right?
It's like when people are running Quickly submit Ubuntu.
Or Quickly package -- extras.
So far, I haven't. Either they're not running it, or it's not generating the right files. I don't have any way of telling which.
So we have a special mode just for you guys.
I know.
So, yeah. So.
I think from reading the documentation, does extras also submit to a PPA, or does it generate a deb, or does it generate a source package?
Submit to.
So there's a way to get a package locally that's for extras, and there's a submit Ubuntu command that does that and then pushes it to PPA. Which is cool. So I think if anything gets done with Quickly, I think it should be like a mandatory that by the end of the cycle that should work as the ARB wants people to work.
So then one action item for me for 1210, we have the Quickly tips page for Quickly packagers, so double check with you all and make sure we're giving them the right flags to pass to Quickly. so that they do that the right way.
If the dash extra support was fixed, is that something we could SA back to 1204 you?
Potentially.
Depends
I'm
because
just thinking for all these new developers who are building software for 1204.
Why couldn't we?
it's intrusive.
Well, just the SRU policy is generally pretty
It's not a new feature, it's all bug fixing.
Right.
Yeah,
It's not like I have a data crash or anything like
It's-
that.
Yeah, it's not a crash or a data loss. It's not
In the earlier
it's in the
session,
universe.
Pitty
Yeah.
said that we probably could get an SRU even if it is a feature change, specifically because the ARB depends on it, and we're getting like
right.
20, 30, 50 packages
So
going
it's not a
through
crash, but
before
it's
the
kind of
current
a
release.
community policy crash.
You don't want SRU? It's
No, I just mean
Huh?
because I already implemented it once and it's quite intrusive. Like it's touching CDBS, Python support extra, Python distutils. So I think the change which broke it is that we switched to DH Python. So I mean that it can potentially affect a lot of packages in main.
So
Just to
here's,
fix it.
here's
the
another
right way.
alternative.
Well, you should investigate what.
Or we should do a quick fix for precise and make the right fix for the next cycle.
So I have another alternative, and that is we're making package me totally rock for extras this cycle. We can get that SRU. Would it be possible to have it quickly use package me so we only have
Like
to
by
pick it
default,
once
switch
in
it.
one place
So-
instead of a bunch of different places?
Are you talking about 1204 or future SRUs? Because to
we could
make quickly use
explore each.
1204, I mean, I'm sorry, to make quickly use package me for 1204
Be very
is more
intrusive.
invasive than just fixing it.
Okay, how about we fix package me? I'm not actually sure if package me is packaged in precise. But for
Pretend I didn't hear.
For 1204, we just use quickly as is and don't tell them to run the quickly extras packaging option. We just tell them, I don't know, to quickly have a build tarball option or something like that.
No, it just makes the.
Then we
So-
just tell them run package me in the quickly source directory, and we'll have that handle the packaging side of things for 1204.
So, I mean, we gave pushback on the SRU for 1204, but that was. I think an SRU case could be made for fixing opt. And it's really just a matter of how invasive the fix would be.
Well, if it's invasive to quickly, I don't think I'm
No,
not.
it's not invasive to
But if
quickly,
it's
that's my
invasive-
point.
Right,
That
what?
it's invasive to DH Python,
But
which is you.
But how do you know
Do
that?
you know that yet? Or are you just.
Because I did it first.
You looked at her list and you know based on that list that you're gonna have to change DH Python.
No, but I'm sure that it's what was broken is that I know that we switched to DH Python 2, and if we want to do it the right way, this is what we need to do. So we can maybe SRU fix which is not, the right one, but which just get the workaround, like moving the files and doing
I'd be
this
okay
kind of
with that
stuff.
with 1204.
And then do the right
Yeah.
fix for
And
1210.
like,
Because
do
we got-
an SRU that's just sort of like the short-term
Yeah.
fix that just changes quickly and nothing else.
Can I ask though, is the request from the ARB do you want quickly to be fixed because of that tip list, to fix those tip list items, or is there some other thing like quickly, like, it's crashing if you try to use opt or something, or is it just that quickly was not, that you had to have this tip list?
It's not crashing, it just doesn't work. Like, we
It
can't,
doesn't work such that you need these extra tips.
It
right?
doesn't-
I mean, the request for 1204 was to make those tips to 0.
yeah.
I'm just trying to figure out what the work item
Well,
there is.
let's put it another way. The request is that the developer were able to just run like quickly package and submit
Right.
to the ARB and not do anything else.
Okay. So what I heard from you guys was that quickly in 1204 isn't working, and I just want to understand what you mean by isn't working. And that,
Yes,
that when you
it's
say
not-
isn't working,
it's not a
you mean-
matter of package crashing.
When you say isn't working, you mean that list right there.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's just a
There's
matter of,
nothing past that list. Okay.
absolutely, just a matter of what's in the files, that's all.
So yeah, I can take an action item to look into that list and see whether that's SRUable, and if it's not, I'll let you know so that you can just recommend something different.
Or couldn't we write a script that the ARB can run the munge, do all that munging?
Sure, okay.
We could.
I mean, basically, I think that's what the DJ's proposing, we just put that in there quickly, so if it makes more sense, we could just get those.
But we should still ensure that we do the right thing for control.
For what?
For control, for 1210.
For 1210?
Oh yeah, sure. So for 1210 now, I had this already in my notes. We've intended to go down the road of using package meetup to take over Quickly's own control of the Debian.
Yeah, that would be way better, right? Because then it wouldn't be Quickly projects specific.
Yeah.
It would just be like, just use the package
Use the
backend.
extras
Yeah.
Python packaging.
So
That would be awesome.
yes, and
That would delete tons of code for Quickly.
yeah.
Are you all right with that, Digital?
Oh yeah. Oh, less code is better.
And in regards to porting the project templates to Python 3, since that's like the recommended platform, or well, it's the default platform right now.
We should do it. Like, I mean, we should.
So it's already done.
Oh, you already ported it to Python 3?
Yes. So the Python templates themselves. I mean, there's a difference between porting quickly to Python 3 and porting the templates to Python 3. The templates themselves are very easy to do.
And they're done already?
And they're done, but they're blocked on the way we generate the Debian directories is through this third-party tool. It's not package.me. It's Python distutils extras is Python make Debian, and that doesn't support Python 3.
Yeah.
So if we move to package.me, then we can immediately land my template Python 3.
But we'll still be able to use the auto discovery of the dependencies, right?
Well,
Well, it's what
that's
package.me should
package.me should do that.
Package.me does that?
Yeah.
It should.
Or you guys will have to add that to the back end.
I can't imagine. So package.me has support for this as like a feature, and I can't imagine
Oh, okay,
they
fine.
have Python on that too.
Okay.
So if we do package.me, we make the ARB super happy, and we would then make the ARB only have to look in one place for their fixes. We would instantly get Python 3 support. It'd be great. So I think that is the top priority for.
I don't know if package.me has specifically Python 3 support yet.
Well, okay. I'll look into adding.
What does Python 3 support mean to you then?
It shouldn't make much difference because I think it just runs the setup.py and extracts the values from what setup.py reports.
No, it would need specific things because it would need to generate a new binary package, Python 3 dash whatever. It would need to call DH Python 3 instead of DH Python 2, or it's in addition to.
Okay.
So yeah.
Then I've been adding backends today, and I can tell you there's only one Python backend in there now, and it needs another one for Python 3. But it should be a simple fork.
Or the Python one used to be able to support both. Yeah.
But you guys shouldn't have to worry
Just as
about that.
a side question, like when people are writing Python 3 apps, is that something that they're going to be able to run in Toro 4?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. As long as they just target Python 3.2 or
So for you guys, I'd like package.me to just be a black box. You don't have to worry about it. So I'll work with James to make sure that we have a good backend for Python 3.
Okay. Okay, so that was my big target. There's a bunch of other stuff that we talk about every session. I think I just feel like it's a tradition. I have to mention these. There's title launchpad integration, which we again presume will not happen. Dynamic gedit plugin activation, which we assume again will probably not happen. You know, the concept of various new templates that we would be interested in having, but nobody's bothered to yet.
So how did the HTML5 one, did you make a lot of progress on that?
Yeah,
Like-
I clean it up and I make a module and stuff like that. So, well, there is not a lot of graphical difference on what we work together, but at least it's clean and it's ready to be pushed.
So we should add that to 12.10, maybe put it in PPA for 12.04, and then in like 13.04 we can make it the default.
HTML5? That's your request?
It's not my request, it's the work that I actually did, and then gave the Didier to finish.
But we need to write together the tutorial or to. I'm happy to work on that.
The tutorial.
Yeah.
Oh, sure. I mean, I can write tutorials too. That's fine. Here, check it out. See it. This is my HTML5 IRC file. So if you go to, it automatically logs into Canonical IRC.
Okay.
So you have tabs and channels.
Yeah, except you can't join any channels yet. I mean, just hard-coded to join a channel. But yes, I have tabs because I use jQuery. These are jQuery tabs. It's just a channel.
So, I don't want to derail the session, but I've spent quite a bit of time running quickly over the last 4 or 5 months working on the e-commerce stuff. And just one piece of feedback, it's worked really great. I mean, it's really worked fantastically well. But just a couple of things, I don't know if they're on a list, that just one piece of feedback. I mentioned to you like the other day about the creating an Ubuntu CLI project for a Twisted, for Twisted, and because it uses glib, it throws up a message basically saying you need to upgrade your project, which I think is a bug. I'm not sure if it, because the message says you need to upgrade from, I think, GTK 2 to GTK 3.
You think because it mentions GTK?
So,
yeah.
I think, I mean, it could be just a more general purpose.
There's actually also you think when I run any Quickly app, GTK complains about something about the way we use
some warning.
What's that?
There is a warning, right?
Yeah, and it sounds like really hideous and scary, and it makes it hard to read the output of your program.
The other thing as well, which I mean, generally everything works great. The one thing I always forget is, you know, if you run, I think it's set up pi build underscore i18n to like regenerate translations. That's something I always have to Google for. Like, is there a command in quickly for me to just essentially say quickly regenerate translations?
Can I ask? So I think we do that automatically with packages.
When we generate a package.
Is there? What's your workflow for that? Why?
Typically, if I add a string to my project and I want to put it, I want to regenerate my pop file.
So it could be bizarre.
Yeah.
Okay, I see.
Yeah.
Maybe we had to quickly save.
Reducer can maybe do that.
Yeah.
Right. Maybe, yeah. I was sure it may exist. It's just the one thing that I always forget. It's like put it like a.
But QuickReset should do in 2 steps: saving the actual work, if there is some, then generating the translation and
And then just commit again.
It's not big.
That sounds like you could offer that patch.
I'll have to look into it.
Yeah.
So
I'll try. I can definitely.
You can totally do it. Just look at
Yeah.
the save. Just look at the save command in the template directory,
Sure.
and you just see it's just.
Just launching commands basically. So.
Oh really? Okay. Cool.
I'm putting a workout in there for you.
Fine.
Joan opened his mouth.
No, that's fine. But yeah, I mean, just I know that one piece of feedback. It's worked really great for me. It's been a great project. So
Add a Fedora RPM template.
Yeah, I mean, you know, if somebody wants it. It'd be interesting to
Take a branch on it, but what?
You just do it. The guy who did that.
We should just do it. Yeah. Or somebody should do it, but
Right. I mean,
I'm not going to do it. I mean, I'm not going to go learn RPM. I still don't even understand that. It's like,
right. That wasn't a request for us. It was that we were willing to help people do that because we're interested in seeing that done as a proof of concept. You know, to see what problems people run into doing that. So Rick, maybe what is the? So you mentioned making HTML5 the default. What is in 1304 or something? What is our recommended developer story as of today?
you mean in 1204?
1210.
For 1210? I don't know.
you mean the default template for Ubuntu application?
Well,
what's
there's
our
two
recommended?
things. There's our the Quickly community, and I think whatever we call Ubuntu-application is that recommendation thing. And then there's the Ubuntu community, and then there's the canonical team that drives developer.ubuntu.com.
Right.
So which one are you asking about?
I'm interested in making Quickly's recommendation the same as what developer.ubuntu.com recommends. I don't believe there should be a delta there.
I agree.
So I think it's going to be GDK through geographic inspection for 1210 probably. I don't know. We could,
but not you. But you think not for 1304?
Yeah,
You
the
want to
1304. I think we should deprecate it and start recommending HTML5.
Developer.com.
I think. You're asking me to predict a year away for something that I don't actually work on that much, but I think in 1304 we should start saying everyone works there. HTML5. Ubuntu is a great platform for that.
So one of the things we've been discussing with David Pinard's work in developer.ubuntu.com is better support for things like documentation and guidance for some of the other templates. So one of the ways in which we could influence that decision is David's planning on encouraging more contributions from community members for things such as HTML5 documentation, things like that. So obviously, we're assessing a release, maybe 12.10 or whether it's 13.04, we can assess the level of support of development.ubuntu.com.
I think we should start promoting the HTML5 template. I think we will probably want to pick something like jQuery or something like that as like the default widget toolkit, and then we want to make sure that there's like a Ubuntu style sheet that goes with it.
So we will expand the default because we are discussing that the other day.
I think we might do something like add jQuery, and then we automatically go and pull everything down. I don't know yet.
I'm excited with this.
So Didier, I put an action item here for you to land the HTML5 template this cycle so that we can have people play with it for at least a cycle before we move on.
I would say land it early because the Ubuntu template, the application template grew really quickly after we landed it because people started to push things to it. I forget, didn't really do much when we first put it up. And then I had add dialogue. Yeah, it really didn't do much. And people like Tony added to it. I forget who added the indicator support, all that stuff.
Okay. And you said you have it nearly ready anyway, so you just want to get reviewed or something.
Yeah. It's really small, and we have the inspector, so we should. I just need to add the quickly debug for the inspector to show.
To bring the inspector up automatically.
And resize it in the right size with just a bug.
And we also need to make it so it's not there when the user releases the app. So that's simple matter.
You just need to make a typo in the property.
Okay. So packaging stuff and HTML5 on the table. Did anybody else have anything they wanted to ask? There's particular bugs that are affecting them?
Well, I got a problem is that we recommend quickly widgets.
Where?
In the tutorial, the website and stuff, but there's no way I'm supporting it. I fixed some bugs in it. I ported it to G-object introspection. And there's a bug in it now that I need to fix where of course G-object introspection, it drops some key functions that I relied on, and then I had to go back and do some previous re-implementation. It was hard to write tests for and stuff. And so just I feel like channeling my energy into that is just this complete drain where if I was channeling that into HTML 500.
Sure.
So I think maybe we want to start looking where we recommend that and start just deleting that from the tutorials and from the website and stuff. I won't pull it off the site. I won't pull it out of the archive. People can still use it. But.
So in the tutorial, when I revamped it for the GK3 introspection, there were a couple places where we were using widgets that I was able to drop because they weren't needed.
Oh, you dropped the quickly.prompts?
I can't.
I'll use the dictionary grid, which I think is okay.
But yeah, so I think I reduced the recommendation, but we can go all the way.
Yeah, the problem is we can't tell people, hey, welcome to Ubuntu, and then give them GDK tree view to present data. So we have we have to I at least have to maintain the tree view, the grid, the dictionary grid.
We can just not talk about that.
Yeah, but displaying data in a table is like, that's like, 80% of applications, that's all they do.
Okay. So I'm sorry. So what was your ask there? Do you want?
I think we should just like reduce reliance on it. We shouldn't like mention quickly.prompts and stuff like that. I don't know. I was just you're just asking if anyone else had any problems. Yeah, and I think it's just one of those awkward things where it's like, how much do we want to support?
Yeah. Well, I don't think. So I don't think on developer.ubuntu.com, quickly.widgets or prompts is mentioned. Do you happen to know that?
Off the top of my head, I don't think it is.
To be honest, prompts is fine. Like quickly.prompts, it's not that hard to do anything, so it's sort of hard to screw that up.
So I think the only place they're like officially recommended is by inference in the tutorial.
In the tutorial. I also noticed like the website still calls it PyGDK.
Which website?
Developer.ubuntu.com.
Oh.
I don't know if that's a problem. That seems like a pretty.
We should just grab.
You'd say Python and GDK or something like that.
Yeah, I'll give you an action item to just grab.
Follow up.
Yeah.
So we already deleted the game template.
Yeah, we can get that fixed though.
It would be nice to get a new game template in.
Oh, right, because
I deleted the game template, but I know how to do it. Like, and I wrote some tutorials on embedding games. So like so I took the Pygame library and I wrote like a much more functional abstraction over it, so you can get certain kinds of games up a lot quicker. But I never made that a separate library, like just like generated it into your code. You might want to make quickly.gaming or something like that, and you know what I mean.
So still using Pygame?
It uses Pygame, but it puts it in GDK, a GDK window, which is way better because then, like if you just use only Pygame, you can make a window, but you don't get any dialogues, you don't get any text input, like so, like all that kind of stuff is like you can never finish your game because like if you want to show a top 10 list, you have to.
But you made a tutorial for that, right? That's what you said.
I made a tutorial to show embedding Pygame, but Pygame is like you need to build your own abstraction on top of it. And I was saying like there's actually a good library that made it much faster to write a game. So I don't have a tutorial for that, but I could take that code, make a library.
So you've got a lot of value add on top of Pygame is what you're saying?
Yeah, like so I have a guy class, which is a sprite that is the guy that you're controlling in the game. I have an enemy class. I have a homing missile that does all the geometry of homing in on something.
Oh, okay, you're right. Just the old template, yeah, sure, okay. Yeah.
I have a bullet class.
Pygame is just SVN.
No, it's got like a lot of math for like detecting intersections, and
So do you believe that is better delivered to users in the form of a library or in the form of a tutorial that explains them
how to make your own
and with like code examples, you know? Because that way it's
that way I don't have to maintain it.
Exactly.
It's just in the tutorial.
That's what I'm saying.
And I can put it on a branch and say, if you want to look at the code, you can look at it from here. That's probably better. So I could write that tutorial.
But I'll give you a little work time.
Okay. Well, I can take the tutorial that we already have and export it. And then are you seeing a lot of games coming through in the ARB?
We've had 4 or 5 apps come through. Most of them are not games. Most of them are little, like there was one that was like a heart rate calculator, and there was another that was like, like something like track your music database, or so it's mostly sort of little utility apps that people are making, where it's like they have a little bit of data they want to store, they want a little user interface where someone can enter a few numbers, and then they want to calculate something and display something back, which seems to be pretty much what Quickly is perfect for, yeah. it lets them get started in 5 minutes and they're off. Yeah.
You mentioned Launchpad integration. Am I right in presuming that that's the old chestnut of some people send up their keys?
Yep.
Right.
Sign in the DOC and all that stuff. Yeah.
Long stuff.
I thought you fixed that.
What were you talking about?
I thought DJ fixed that like 3 years ago.
Well, I fix the fact that we check now. I don't fix the fact that we push a keys. At least now we are checking that the SSH key is
You
still on
tried
the
to
side.
add it all, but they never let you.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
we're blocked
So-
on Launchpad.
We're
So
blocked
there
because
are-
someone needs to do the work, or they said no to the work.
Exactly, there were 2 steps. There were exposing the SSH and GPG key. So I have done that. It was a great pain, but now it's exposed and we are checking that. And the second step was adding the SSH and GPG key, and I was blocked by the admin to do that.
You mean like Launchpad has no API for
Yeah,
adding a
well,
GPG?
they don't have
API and they don't really
No,
want
They don't want it.
political reason.
Yeah.
Right.
So
For political or security?
security.
Is that, so you can generate keys,
So
but
we
then,
generate the key and now. This is what quickly is doing.
right.
Then chewing the key and there is some instructions to tell how to put that on the tree.
Right, okay.
And then checking
Do we
that
still
the key.
get that? I don't hear about people getting blocked on that anymore.
Yeah, we had a lot before we added the first step, which is checking the key.
Yeah, I remember. It was the DJ special. Like every time someone needs quickly, DJ would have to help them.
But now we don't get any more complaint with that. So
Cool.
I
That
think
was
the
the
extension
first
are
test. Right.
and there is no, I guess we don't need anymore to send the code of conduct to access PPS. I think it's not required by Launchpad anymore
To do what?
to sign the code of
Oh,
conduct.
right. Wow. Okay. So what was that stopping us from doing? Anything?
What?
No. We just don't care about it anymore. That's
We just don't care about it.
That quickly cares about it. Okay.
That's too bad in a way.
It seems to me that Quickly basically does pretty much everything that I think most new developers need. I mean, yeah, I know there's a few things that, like, there's the slash up thing, there's a few things that, but in terms of the current feature set, it strikes me that it does. So as a like, I don't have any numbers on this, but from what I'm seeing, I think most new developers are quite happy with. And we did some basic user, like, developer testing a long time ago, and I had no issue with it.
Could you put down a work item for me to take the tutorial off the website? Forgot about that.
So I have 2 probably quick questions. One is about, we have developers who create a Quickly app and then they're maintaining it across multiple releases now.
Yes.
So for packaging, they just regenerate the packaging, but Desktop Couch was one where, like, so I've been asking for some help actually on the Quickly list for figuring out how to patch developers' existing applications, but I don't know if there's some more general thing we could do to make that easier.
So there's 2. So you're asking about the code changes, not the data migration.
I didn't know about data migration.
Well, I mean, if you're
If someone already had it,
if
installed.
a developer is concerned about users that are upgrading from an old version.
They aren't concerned because they're not experienced enough to be concerned yet, but
So right, so I mean, those are actually really 2 different questions because if you're, well, I mean, if you're concerned about data migration, then you want to keep Desktop Couch support around in your code base while you add the other one. But it sounds like
so
most of your
far
concerns
what
about
we've had
interface.
is actually apps that weren't using Desktop Couch at all, so the solution
Oh.
was just rip it out
Yeah, okay, sure.
because it was in the generated Quickly code.
You're welcome back.
But I'm not sure.
Okay. Yeah, so I guess, I mean, code-wise, there was a commit into Quickly where we took out Desktop Couch and we replaced it with that. So I mean, that would be, like, somebody could look at that, like somebody like me that did it, could look at it and perhaps extract what I did in a human readable form.
So like a wiki page that just says, if you're migrating from Oniric to Precise with your Quickly app, make these changes.
Right.
Basically, you're dead in the water. Like, so regenerate your app. I'm serious.
So that
copy the code over, and then like where you're using desktop couch, use SQLite or whatever.
Right. I mean, that's basically what we already have a website for that gets triggered. So when Jono saw this warning about using an old GTK2, try using GTK3, and we point them at a wiki page that says basically that like this is too hard.
I mean, for Python 3, we're definitely going to say that. It's like
we're
just
also going to say that for
start
Python
over.
3, right?
Yeah.
These are all
regenerate your
block
app and then
changes.
just start copying it. That's so awesome.
Well, I mean, quickly isn't trying to solve. It isn't trying to be like an enterprise solution.
Indeed. Well, enterprise solutions, you end up doing that anyway, just after you waste 2 weeks trying to migration.
So that's kind of a downer for an app developer who has gotten their app into Oniric and they're like, okay, let's get it into Precise. And we're like, you have to rewrite it from scratch. So if you had a higher level guide, like I don't expect them to get it, but if you have a higher level guide, just sort of briefly what you changed so that we could maybe make those changes for them. That might help. Or even just...
Okay. Wow, so you guys try removing desktop couch for them and see if that
we have actually, and it has worked for several of them.
Couldn't
You guys
just...
You guys are great.
Wait. Couldn't you add a module that is like a desktop couch module that just like implements the interface that says pass, and then you don't have to modify their code? And
Well, I mean, desktop couch is still there in Universe, so we could figure out how...
is it?
No, maybe it's
Yeah.
not. Is it?
It's still in Universe. We didn't pull it from the archive because we moved it to Universe.
For 1204? It's still in
Yeah,
there?
I think
Why
so.
wouldn't they?
Stuff uses it.
Yeah, I don't care. We don't want people using it.
Right.
It's a-
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, for our purposes, for the... If instead of having them migrate for Precise and Quantal, if we just say, okay, we'll kind of fix it up for desktop couch now, temporary for 1204, and then for 1210, we'll tell them regenerate your apps, because now it's in shiny new Python 3, and then we're done.
But
What's the API that's exposed from desktop couch?
What's the...
What's the API that is exposed?
You guys could answer that.
How much of couch is...
not much.
I can't remember.
It was-
Reads and writes.
Yeah, it was mainly just storing keys and values for like user preferences. I think that
Yeah,
was what
just
was
like
there by
it's like
default.
1 or 2 read and writes, like by default. So
This
you
is for P. Okay, get P
no
working.
before P.
It was an Oniric app that they now want to run on.
Under it has couch and Precise drop.
Does not.
And we want you to add back into Precise support for those apps that we already know.
No.
Or maybe just change the apps.
We want to make
They
like
want
easier
those
for
apps
developers.
to run in Precise.
Right.
So sometimes the app doesn't actually use the code. It's just sample code to show them how to do persistence. So I think, could you give me a work item to try, just to, if I could just give the ARB, like, just add in this local desktop couch module that implements the functions, and the app will just
Keep running for
working.
now. Yeah.
And so, what I was going to say about that, but
What's
we
that?
also went to that meeting. Look at implementing it in the week.
I wouldn't re-implement it. I would just say pass or whatever. So just the code doesn't barf.
Did you guys write like a short little guide of if you were depending on desktop couch?
No, we haven't.
Okay. So I would say let me point them at one of the Quickly apps and the patches that you guys gave me. I don't remember who it was on desktop cat on the Quickly talk list.
No, it was
Wasn't you?
Tony.
Goes to
Yeah.
real time.
Yeah. So point them at that, and if they want to say, here's a recommended, since you sort of drop support for desktop couch, here's a recommended temporary way to get your code by with that.
Let's go really quick question. What's the, I don't know if there is a policy, but what's the policy in the Quickly team regarding how, in terms of like integration with services? So what I mean by that is, so as an example, there's various services that we expose in Ubuntu, things such as Notify OSD, the indicators, things like that. And what's the policy in terms of suggesting additions to the templates, for harness and those things? Because what I'm thinking, like down the line, I'd like us to be in a position where people who write new apps can trigger accomplishments.
Yep. I think you should add quickly add accomplishment.
Right.
So,
Is that the best way to do it? Because obviously the accomplishments thing is PPA right at very early in its life cycle,
So here's my thought on that. We have a quickly add indicator right now, which enables code adds a chunk of code to your code to look for indicator if the module is successful. And I've thought about adding such things for Unity or whatever. However, similar to my suggestion to you that instead of making a Pygame template, we just make a good tutorial. I think it might be better so the cookie doesn't have to maintain like inserting this blob of code into yours. It's like this weird command that you have to go somewhere anyway. I think just write a tutorial.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. It's better to go and develop on Ubuntu.com than to have to maintain a code base, right?
But we can still have quickly add, showing what you need to do, like directly opening the right page, on the right side, like quickly add indicator. And this is how you can add an indicator support.
Why say?
I mean, how would they even find that command anyway, right? Like,
I guess, yeah, and particularly since I think most developers, if they have a question, it's like Google.
Well, the thing that quickly add does is like integrates it into your, like it generates the boilerplate for you.
Yeah, maybe for
and then just runs. It's awesome. So you say quickly add dialogue, and then just like
maybe for more structural changes, like adding a dialogue is a quite structural change to an application, whereas adding an indicator, I guess that could be considered.
Because you need a class with an indicator, and it needs to integrate with the main loop and everything. So
I was talking to an API, like the accountants.
So ripping a notification
is we should have that. Yeah,
that needs a tutorial.
Yeah, I agree. Cool.
So I understand that. Like a tutorial can have a big chunk of code in it. Like
it doesn't matter anyway. Like we'll be happy to have get a tutorial. And if someone turns it into an add command later, we could discuss it then.
Yeah, I guess that's a. Yeah, I guess I'd like to see a tutorial as a first step, and if it's proving valuable, we can make people's lives easier. Yeah. It just makes maintenance exponentially harder because the more of these every time we touch the user's code base, we have to support them having done any combination of these other insertions before, and it makes our sed and greps really complicated.
I agree.
So
I agree. I mean, the only thing in terms of the accomplishment stuff that quickly could be used for, conceivably, is helping you to create the actual accomplishment itself. I think that's outside of the scope of quickly. But yeah, I agree. I think tutorials are the best.
I would think quickly add would create the boilerplate. That you have that file.
Yeah. You could conceivably do it.
And then it would be named after your project. Okay, are we winding down?
the session is ended.
Oh,
all right.
Coffee time.
Thank you.
Good work, you guys. It keeps going. It keeps going, man. This is like this project is like always like the solution to.
It's slow maintenance.
I wish I had more time to work with it and write programs and documentation.
Always the way.
What's that?
It's always the way.
But
If we only had more time.
I really want to investigate a lot of time in this.
A what?
A lot of time in this HTML5 story.
You do? Okay.
We would actually like to see that. We'd love to have a way for folks to create HTML5 apps.
So I'm going to make an application, so my application is going to combine the canonical LDAP server with IRC. So then a little, so
you can see the face.
And they'll just make a configuration file so other companies could grab it too, and then they could have their own little, I call it quirky, quickly IRC.